Welcome back. Let's take a look at some sports now. Here's Barong Tony Uranta.
Thank you, Joma, and welcome to Sports News. Nigeria's women's basketball team, the Tigers, are set to depart for Bamako, Mali tomorrow for the 2017 Afro-Basket Tournament. The delegation includes 12 players, 3 members of the technical crew, led by Sam Vincent, and 4 backroom staff. The team is made up of 9 foreign-based professionals and 3 home-based professionals. The 3 home-based professionals are Choma Udeja, Nkechi Akashili, and Upe Otoshu of Nigeria Women's Basketball League champions, First Bank of Lagos. And elsewhere, Juventus goalkeeper Gianluigi Buffon, Barcelona playmaker Lionel Messi, and Cristiano Ronaldo of Real Madrid have been selected as 3 nominees for the 2016-17 UEFA Men's Player of the Year award. The short list of 3 players was selected by a jury comprising of the 80 coaches of the clubs which participated in the group stage of the Champions League and Europa League. Also involved in the selection process are 55 journalists selected by the European Sports Media Group, representing each of UEFA's member associations. The award will be presented at the 2017-18 UEFA Champions League group stage draw in Monaco on Thursday, August the 24th. And Russia has opened an information center at its tourist office in London to help ease England fans' fears about hooligans at the 2018 FIFA World Cup. Russians were blamed for injuring more than 100 England supporters in Marseille during Euro 2016. Russia hosts the World Cup for the first time next year. As part of attempts to address the threat of violence, Russia will issue special identity cards which will be needed to enter the stadiums and can be used as a visa to enter the country. And Kenya is to launch a bid to host the Athletics World Championships in 2023, after successfully staging 2 other international competitions in the last 10 years. No African nation has ever staged a sports flagship event, but Kenyan Sports Minister Hassan Wario said Kenya had shown its capability when it brought together athletes from 130 countries to compete in the IAAF World Under-18 Championships in Nairobi in July. The Qatari capital of Doha is set to host the 2019 IAAF World Championships before Oregon stages the 2021 edition. And former world number 1 Maria Sharapova will make her first Grand Slam appearance in over 18 months after she was awarded a main draw wildcard for the upcoming US Open. The 30-year-old Russian was denied a wildcard at the French Open before she missed the grass court season, including Wimbledon, with a thigh injury. Sharapova's US Open preparations have been disrupted by an arm injury. She was forced to withdraw from the Rogers Cup and the Cincinnati Open as a precautionary measure ahead of the final Grand Slam of the year. And that's it on Sports News for tonight. I'm Barong Tony Uranta, and Ijoma will be back with a wrap.
Thanks a lot, Barong. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has sent his condolences to the President of Sierra Leone, Mr. Ernest Koroma, over the death that resulted from a mudslide in the mountain town of Bijan. According to a statement by the presidential spokesman, Femi Adesina, the president, in a telephone conversation with President Koroma, says the hearts of Nigerians are with the people, praying that God will comfort those mourning their loved ones. And nearly 400 people have been killed by that mudslide that hit Freetown's town. That's on Monday. President Ernest Koroma is calling for urgent help for the thousands affected, saying entire communities have been wiped out and the devastation is overwhelming. Rescue efforts have continued to recover people believed to still be in the rubble that swept through that area.
A day of devastation for residents in Regent Village, Freetown, as the earth high on the hills washed down everything in its path. Buildings were submerged in the mudslides, claiming lives, many of whom were asleep, oblivious of what was going on.
Causing this kind of sliding that we are experiencing now, it's unfortunate. A lot of lives have been lost here. We have called on the police to cordon off the area so that we can call in rescue workers. The military is here, awareness, we are all partnering.
Those lucky to be alive are seen moving boxes out of their destroyed homes. The Red Cross says over 200 bodies have been taken to the central morgue in Freetown, while rescue teams intensify their search for more survivors believed to be trapped in the debris. In a televised address, President Ernest Koroma assured residents of government's collaboration with development partners to avoid a future occurrence.
Let me assure you that my government is fully engaged on this situation, and in collaboration with our development partners, we have already established an emergency response center at Regent to coordinate our response and to provide relief to the survivors.
Authorities attribute the incident to heavy downpour that happened Sunday night into Monday morning.
Zimbabwe's First Lady, Grace Mugabe, failed to appear in court today to answer questions in a case of alleged assault on 20-year-old Gabriela Engels, a model in Johannesburg, over the weekend. Mrs. Mugabe was said to have attacked the model with an extension cord after finding her with two of her sons in a hotel room in Sandton, a highbrow area north of Joburg. Pictures circulating online show the model with a gash on her forehead and a number of bruises on her body, purportedly inflicted by Mrs. Grace Mugabe. Police in South Africa say they had to act in the interest of the victim, who opened the case against the Zimbabwean First Lady. And the main news again. The strike order issued by the Academic Staff Union of Universities today recorded a near total compliance, with the exception of the Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife, where students were taking their exams. The federal government has, however, appealed to ASU to return to the negotiating table. Also today, suicide bombers attacked a market in Konduga area near Borno State capital, killing 27 people. Several hours after the attack, distant sounds of rocket-propelled grenades are still being heard in Maiduguri. And Sierra Leone's President Ernest Koroma today appealed for urgent aid for thousands of people displaced by mudslides and flooding in the capital, Freetown. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Ijoma Kunyaso. Good night.